Today I'm going to be demonstrating how to wash your hands with soap and water and how to cleanse properly with hand sanitizer. I'll be following the Center for Disease Control recommended guidelines. But first, let's talk about why we wash our hands. Keeping our hands clean is one of the most important steps we can take to avoid getting sick and spreading germs. Now, it's always important to wash your hands, keep them clean, but it's essentially important in preventing the spread of the COVID vaccine or the COVID-19 virus. Germs can spread and transfer from people or surfaces. You could wash your hands or use a hand sanitizer before or after, and here are some recommendations, before you touch your eyes, your nose, your mouth, or the outside of your mask, entering or leaving a public place, touching an item or a surface frequently touched by others, countertop, handles. Also, in a healthcare setting, if you're a professional working there, definitely between patients. The CDC gives 5 simple steps to washing your hands properly. Let's make sure we have the supplies needed that we need here for at home. Now, of course, if you're in a healthcare profession, you'll be using the supplies available to you at the facility you're working at. Here, I have the hand sanitizer. You can check your label. The CDC recommends between 60 and 70% alcohol-based product. Here, the label says 70% alcohol-based, so that's the product I'm going to be using because I have it. Next, if you're at home, a clean towel. Also, we have paper towels. More than likely in a facility, if you're in a healthcare profession or out in the public, you're going to be using paper towels. Okay, so looks like one other thing that we want to know is what type of soap should we be using? Now the CDC says if you're at home or out in public, you can use bar soap, you can use antimicrobial soap, or you can use regular hand soap. If you are a healthcare professional in a facility, you would use what they have available for you there. Today, I'll be using regular hand soap because that's what I have available on tap. The other thing I wanted to point out is there is a big discussion about whether or not to touch the handle with your hands or with using a paper towel. If you're in the healthcare profession, you follow the guidelines set forth, the protocol set forth by the facility you'll be working at. At home, the CDC says there's not enough proof or evidence to show that you transfer a lot of germs from the handle to your hands. So they say, go ahead, touch the handle with your hands. For the sake of this video, I'm not going to touch the handle. I've got a paper towel set here to do that. I'm going to get a couple paper towels here for when I wash my hands, get those ready. Okay, so on to our demonstration. One other thing I wanted to point out that you want to keep in mind if you're in the healthcare profession is you want to keep a distance between the countertop and your uniform. You also want to avoid touching any parts of the sink while you're washing your hands to avoid further contamination. First, I'm going to show you how to use the hand sanitizer properly as recommended by the CDC. 1 pump, about a teaspoon, is really all you need here. And you're going to rub your hands just as I do, just as you would if you were using soap and water. And you want to let it go, keep rubbing vigorously until your hands are dry. That usually takes about 20 seconds. This one may be taking a little longer than 20 seconds. Okay, there you go. I think I'm dry, so I would be good to go. Now we're going to move on to my demonstration on how to properly wash your hands with soap and water as recommended by the CDC. I'm going to observe keeping my body away from the sink, and I'm going to touch the faucet. I'm going to get warm water. And I get my hands wet first. And I'm going to turn it off with that, using that quarter of the paper towel. If you're in a facility, obviously most of the times if you're in a healthcare facility, they have the automatic touch. When your hands go in and out, the butter stops and starts. So I'm going to be using about 1 teaspoon of soap, and I'm going to work up a lather. It's the friction in the lather that lifts those microbes and germs from the skin. Actually, it's the surfactant in the soap and the friction that lifts the microbes from the skin. Okay, if you need a timer, because they say about 20 seconds, you can hum the tune to Happy Birthday, the full song from beginning to end, twice in your head. Okay, I've got a good lather here, so I want to get the tops of my hands in between my fingers. I'm going to get down each finger. I get my wrists. The CDC doesn't speak to getting your wrists. That is a healthcare profession. That's typically how we do it. And then you want to make sure you get under your fingernails. Those microbes love to hide out under your fingertips. So you could do that easily by just scraping them gently on the palm of your hand. Okay. That's at least 20 seconds, probably longer, but the longer you rub, the more microbes and soil you lift from the skin. Now I am going to use this corner to turn the tap on. And I'm going to rinse thoroughly. You'll know when the soap is sufficiently rubbed off your hand. You'll feel it. So I'm going to rinse all those microbes and soil pieces that I lifted from my skin. I'm going to rinse them right off into the sink. Okay, use this other corner to turn it off. And I use a paper towel to dry my hands thoroughly. Now, dry your hands thoroughly because germs can transfer easily to and from wet hands. So you want to make sure you dry well. In between your fingers too. Sometimes you may need more than 1 paper towel. Okay. And there you have it. How to wash your hands and a bit of the science behind it. Thank you.